Nothing prepares you for the dreamlike feel of the place. It's like walking into a cloud that tastes of rain and smells of fresh tea. A fairy tale land that remains misty through the year and wraps itself around you. Munnar was once a quaint British town of colonial bungalows. Much of the town is now crowded and forgettable, but step out of the main town area and you understand why Munnar still enchants. The British presence is still strong in several parts of the town. The British left Munnar decades ago, but the town still suffers from a colonial hangover. There's ample proof of that here at the High Range Club, which is almost 100 years old. You still have men in white uniforms with topis serving you, and if you decide to knock back a drink at their men's only bar, well then you have to adhere to some seriously strict rules. Buildings like the High Range Club opened entry to Indians only in 1948. But today you can play a good game of golf on its 9-hole course or stay in its rooms with wafer-thin walls and furniture from the 40s. A few days in Munnar and your eye gets used to slope after slope of moss greens stumbling over hills, all laden with tea bushes. Tetley and other brands of Tata tea all have the Made in Munnar stamp on them. We visited one of the 28 tea estates that define the town. And enthusiastic tea pluckers tried to tutor me, but after a few hours of trying, I had to give up. I obviously am not very good at this. These ladies have been trying to teach me how to do this for the last half an hour, and it's not as easy as it looks. We also catch up with Joseph Ipe, who's a historian, a self-proclaimed tour guide, and a true blue resident of Munnar.
We have the tallest mountain in South India.
That's right.
That's Anamudi. Height is 2,695 meters, and it is one of the most beautiful things you can get here.
Can you show us what is the kind of...
What the pluck is, only 2 tender leaves and a bud, nothing else. They pluck only 2 tender leaves and a bud.
That's what they're supposed to pluck. It's 2 tender leaves
and a bud. And you will see how fast the ladies pick the tea. Yeah. And later you can visit a tea factory and see how tea is processed.
There's a tea museum in town that you can give a miss unless you're very interested in the town's love affair with the beverage. More interesting though is a visit to one of the tea factories where you can see fresh green leaves going in at one end and coming out at the other as the tea we use every day. And if you still haven't had your fill of tea, there's always some chai to carry back home. We walk into one of the tiny shops dotting the town and find some superb tea. Now, this is one of the few things that you can buy and carry back. Okay, now I'm thoroughly confused, and if you're in Munnar, chances are you will also be. There are a range of teas to choose from, and you must buy yourself some tea from the little marketplace which is located in town. There are a number of varieties here. I'm just taking a look right now. You have this fine leaf tea, and this which I believe is export quality?
Export quality tea.
Export quality tea. It's called Flowery Orange Pico. Yeah. So if you're a tea drinker, this is the perfect place for you. And if you don't fancy tea and are tired of the rolling greens, we recommend a day trip to the Ravikulam Wildlife Sanctuary, located roughly 15 kilometers from Munnar. We are at the Eraviculam National Park, which is about 15 kilometers from Munnar and is home to the endangered mountain goat, the Nilgiri Thar. If you're lucky, you'll get to see the animal, but if the weather is like this, or if the famous Munnar mist decides to descend, well then you'll have to just give it a miss. Munnar may have become very touristy in recent times thanks to its weather, which remains pleasant through the year, but despite that you'll find nooks and corners that will be exclusively yours. Munnar should get your vote because it's one of the largest tea growing regions in the country. It also has the largest population of Nilgiri Thars on its outskirts in Eraviculam.